Hi Pisces, this is your horoscope for April 2017. Thanks for joining me. Now, from the 3rd of April until the 22nd of April, the Sun is in Aries and it conjuncts Uranus in Aries, and both of these planets are in your second house of money and belongings. So the Sun is your identity, and when it's in Aries, it's really about pushing forward and overcoming obstacles. That's where you get a sense of strength and power from. Uranus is about being a rebel and doing things differently and doing things in a unique, pioneering way. That in Aries really urges you to take things on by yourself, independently, to do things on your own terms, to use your own ideas and to implement them in a way so that you can create more abundance and prosperity and wealth for yourself. That opposes Jupiter in the 8th, which is in Libra, and Jupiter is the good luck planet. So it's interesting, but the initial idea is all about you doing this and really getting something out there into the world and into motion and creating abundance and wealth and prosperity from it. But Jupiter across the chart says, yes, the idea should be your own, but if you work with other people to actually implement it and to create it in the real world, that's going to really, really help you. So don't feel like you have to do the whole thing by yourself. As long as you come up with the concept and it's something that you're passionate about, getting other people involved to help and support will really make the project thrive and really do very well, and you'll see financial returns very quickly. On the 5th of April, we have got Saturn going retrograde, and Saturn goes retrograde until the 25th of August. Saturn is like the astrological head teacher. He makes you look at your life the way it is and the way you would like it to be. And it's in your 10th house of career, okay? So when it's in retrograde, it's less harsh than it usually is. It's at its harshest when you experience a Saturn return, okay? That happens 3 times in life. It happens between the ages of 28 and 29 and a half, 56 and 58, and 84 and 86. And that is when Saturn really says, okay, here we are, this is one of your big life moments. Are you doing it or not? Okay, and that can really be harsh because your life can fall apart and you have to do something totally different. When it's in retrograde like this, it's gentle, okay? And it allows you gently to review the decisions that you've made so far in your working life. And also it allows you to review the structures that you've got in place in your life at the moment, especially when it comes to work. So have you studied? Are you working in an office? Are you self-employed? Are you successful? Are you not successful? Saturn will allow you to look at all of these things and then ask the question, yes, but where do I see myself in a year from now or in 5 years from now? And this Saturn retrograde will help you pave the way to get to those places. So you're in this situation in your life now because you've made decisions in the past. What decisions are you going to make in the future which will create your future? It's important to think about that. And Saturn astrologically will help you achieve that, particularly in the area of your working life. On the 9th of April, we have Mercury going retrograde. Mercury is the planet of communication and ideas. It goes retrograde in your 3rd house of communication. So when Mercury goes retrograde, there's always room for misunderstandings. Often computer systems malfunction or the post or packages, things like that get lost or aren't delivered. There are misunderstandings in friendships. Because it's in your 3rd house of communication, you Pisces in particular, anything that has to do with communication, where you're speaking, writing, getting your point across, make sure you keep it very simple and very clear so that there's almost no room for misunderstanding and you make yourself as clear as possible, because Mercury is in the 3rd. So this retrograde really hits you particularly because it's in the 3rd sector of communication, so it directly impacts that. On the 11th of April, we have the full moon in Libra, and that is right on top of the good luck planet Jupiter, which is also in Libra in your 8th house. Now, the full moon is always a culmination, a completion point for the moon, and it showers us with its energy. And in Libra, it means that you will really enjoy some sort of good news or blessing when it comes to your colleagues and your working life. So either someone who let's say earlier in the month you approach someone with this great idea for a new business, it may be that someone gives you the okay and says, okay, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to invest 5,000 in this idea or something like that. You really start to get back some positive news as a result of this individual kind of work that you've got in mind. And I will make a separate video on the full moon and the new moon because there's a lot going on during these periods, but you as a Pisces, you will benefit from that via other people. Now, on the 15th of April, we've got Venus, the planet of love and beauty, going direct. It's been in retrograde from the 4th of March and it now goes direct on the 15th of April, and that's a real blessing because it's in your sign of Pisces at the moment. It's been going back and forth between Pisces and Aries, but when Venus is in retrograde, particularly for sensitive people, it's very difficult because love and what we love and how we love becomes really complicated and stifled and difficult, and there's real room for things to get unpleasant, you know, for things like for us to start hating ourselves or to completely misrepresent ourselves when we're speaking to others or to completely not see a facade that's being presented to us. It makes it far more complicated. So as far as you're concerned, relationships now get much better for you from the 15th of April onwards. And relationships in all ways, work, career, family, romantic relationships, they're all going to really improve from the 15th of April onwards towards the end of the month. On the 20th of April through until the 28th of September, we've got another major retrograde, and this is Pluto going retrograde. Pluto is the most outer of the outer planets. It moves very, very slowly, and it represents transformation and change. It's rebirth. It's like the phoenix rising from the ashes. Okay, so you can also think of Pluto in retrograde as the hermit in the tarot. It's inner illumination, it's inner enlightenment, it's shining the light of truth. And it's in your 11th house of hopes and dreams and in the sign of Capricorn. So really what this does is it asks you, are you living your dream when it comes to work and the way you make money? And the answer is going to be, it's likely that the answer is going to be no, because all of these things are working together. And this is what makes astrology so great. We've got that Saturn in retrograde in your 10th house of career, making you question your past decisions. Pluto is now in retrograde in your 11th, saying, is this really my maximum potential? Is this really all I can achieve, or is there more going on? At the same time, you've got all of that energy in the second house of making money and working to create finance and abundance. So all of these things together are kind of putting you in a position of really kind of taking the kaleidoscope and shifting it a bit so that it makes more sense when it comes to career and you get a better understanding of it, and the hieroglyphics are becoming English, okay? You're starting to decipher these things and you're starting to see the sense that's involved. So expect the penny to drop when it comes to what am I doing in terms of my career hopes and dreams. And that's an ongoing process. So engage with that and see what you get from it. You'll be very pleased with the outcome. Finally, here in April on the 26th, we've got the new moon in Taurus, and that happens in your 3rd house of communication. So Taurus energy is being pulled in because the new moon is getting ready for its next monthly cycle, and Taurus is very reliable and practical. So communication calms down a bit despite Mercury still being in retrograde. Communication becomes easier, it becomes less challenging. Still try and keep things simple, and if you can, try and use visual references or examples to illustrate your point. So that's what I get for you in April. I hope that gives you some useful ideas. If you would like me to have a look at your natal chart, I can do that by I can draw it up by using your place of birth, date of birth, and time of birth, and I can then put these transits around your birth chart and see how these things are impacting you specifically. For that, please get in touch via my website. It's Gregory Scott. Click on the Readings tab to order a reading with me. Please remember to subscribe to this YouTube channel, and I'll speak to you next month.